Like obviously I can be the big sister and tell you that you should have savings and you should have a job, but sometimes life just doesn't work out that way. You just have to be ballsy and confident and just own your shit and know that like whatever happens will be fine. I genuinely can't believe that I'm saying this. I never thought that I would be in the position to say this, but I quit my job. Obviously there's multiple different factors as to why, how that happened, what I'm doing now, yada yada yada. All I'll say is that I have no backup plan. I have no job secured. I have no emergency fund or big chunk of savings, just so you have a better understanding of like my career, what I've been doing. I never went to college or university. I came out of school at around the age of 18 and then I went straight into being a makeup artist, and I did that for about 3 years. So I started in my hometown in Ireland, and then I transitioned with the same company that I was working with into working in London, and that was kind of like my first London job, and I loved it. I just think I was falling out of love with makeup artistry, and I kind of realized that I just preferred the people-facing element to the job. I had a friend at the time that worked in recruitment, and I had no idea what recruitment was. I had never heard of it before. He basically explained that it would probably suit what I wanted quite well, because it's quite, you know, it's that like relationship element, and like if you're confident, you're bubbly, like you can talk to people, then like you'll love it. And then long story short, I interviewed in a company, I got the job, COVID happened, I couldn't do it. I had already handed my notice in. So fast forward a year, I had gone back to Ireland and then come back to London to start at another company, and that was to do recruitment. In general, it's always going to be really difficult starting in like a new field and a new area. So obviously it was a tough year, but I was kind of accepting that I was just having to be really uncomfortable because I was just learning loads of stuff. I spent about a year and a half with that company, and then I moved into a different recruitment firm. And that was the most recent company, the most recent role that I've had. It was a much bigger company and they had a really, really good setup. Like it was quite professional, a great team manager. So like it kind of just felt like everything flowed quite nicely. So then after about like 9 months of me working with them, I negotiated a deal to be able to work remotely from Portugal. But what was a part of that agreement was that I go back to London once a month for a few days to see the office, be with the team, you get the gist. Having to travel back and forth to London every single month was draining. Like I can't even explain. I'm someone that doesn't even like flying, and I also had to pay for my own flights and my own travel and all of those expenses. So it almost wasn't even like saving any more money than I would have been working in Portugal, because it's still just as expensive here to kind of like live than it is in London. So I'm having to pay all these extra costs by like traveling. And I think anyone that I've known that has had a job traveling can probably say the same. Like you eventually get to the point where you're like, I'm so done. Like this is just like, no one wants to have to do this like all the early mornings. And what happened was in January, we met, we sat down in person, and they basically told me that they wanted me to come back to London full time, which was a shock because we had agreed to a year. So at the time I was obviously a little bit annoyed and like, shocked, a bit upset. And now this is getting into the real talk. I think after a few days, I came to the realization that I just don't even think I really enjoy this job that much. I know that I'm good at it, like not to toot my own horn or anything, but I love making relationships, but I hate being that person that is like really salesy and like forcing people to do things that they don't really want to do, like chasing people over emails and like, I don't know, just like being a pain in the ass. Like I just didn't want to be that person. And for years I've done this, I've done YouTube. I've constantly been taking videos, taking photos, editing and like putting stuff together and just making it look really creative and really cool. And I genuinely just feel like that is like my passion and where my strengths lie. Over like the last like year or so, I've been continuing to post on YouTube when I can, and it is quite difficult with a full-time job because I guess you have to give that 100%, and then also juggling like your social life, like seeing friends, family, like spending time with your partner. I have a dog, so that means like 3 dog walks a day. Also trying to maintain like a healthy like lifestyle and go to the gym and stuff. So it's really, really difficult to like juggle everything and then also have a hobby that like obviously you want to put as much effort in as you can. So over the past 6 months, I've been doing like little bits and pieces of like editing for other people. So whether that's like friends or like small business owners. So that's been a really, really fun opportunity, and I think has opened my eye to realizing that it doesn't just have to be like me doing YouTube and that being my job, because I definitely would love that. Of course, would love that so much, and I'm always going to continue to do YouTube and just see what happens with that. But I didn't really ever think that like videography as like a freelance side hustle was like an option for me. I'll put my vision board on the screen so that you can see all of it, but in the middle you'll see the adjective for free. What I meant by that was literally to hand my notice in, and I kind of wanted to make it look cool on the vision board. I didn't want it to be like a photo of someone like just handing in their notice, because whatever. I just wanted that flexibility, and like what I meant behind that is being able to like film, do YouTube, edit, work for other people, and like just have my own schedule. So I had it on my vision board, and I think in my mind I was envisioning that like I would hand my notice in, I don't know, the middle of the year, like to the end of the year, because I was like allowing myself to like prep and save. And that did not happen. The decision was kind of like made for me. So I kind of just didn't really have much of a choice. So I did not expect it to be in January, but literally 2 weeks after I made the vision board, it happened. And I can't help but feel that like it was just the biggest sign. So I'm taking it as a sign, and that this was fate to kind of like go down this path and just at least give it my best shot. The past 2 weeks has been incredible. Like, we're back in Portugal now, and I can get up whenever I want. I can go to the gym. I can then walk our dog. I can make lunch. So yeah, freedom is exactly what I have right now. What I don't have is an actual job, like a contractual agreement. My point in being really honest and saying this to you guys is, if you're going through a similar situation, or if like you want to quit and you know you don't really have a backup plan, or you don't have savings, like obviously I can be the big sister and tell you that you should have savings and you should have a job, but sometimes life just doesn't work out that way. And I think you have to think about yourself first. And if you're feeling like burnt out, and if a job is like really detrimental to like your mental health, and you're just not feeling like yourself anymore, then like you have to put yourself first, and you'll always work something out. Like, a job is just a job at the end of the day. It's crazy because it consumes so much of our life. Our colleagues become our friends. It's all we think about. Sometimes we work until the evening. No one should have to do that. Pull out a journal, get all your thoughts down on paper, make a little bit of a brainstorming plan, see what you can do. But genuinely, I think there's no point allowing yourself to feel like crap. I was doing it for months, and I really was putting like my feelings to the back of the priority list, which is a shame. I'm really excited for one to just be able to focus on myself for a while and focus on my own self-development. It's a crazy, scary, exciting time for anyone that's going through this, but I think you just have to be ballsy and confident and just own your shit and know that like whatever happens will be fine. Like, you will find something. You will be able to think of some way to make money, even if it's not maybe what you want to do straight away. So yeah, I just wanted to share. If you have any questions, or most importantly, any tips for me, that would be great. If you're in a similar situation, like definitely let us know in the comments. I think everyone would find it so helpful to know what people are going through, like how they're kind of navigating it at the moment, because I know it's definitely not an easy process. Like, the entire time that I was going through this, I was so stressed. I think I cried every single day. Let's make this a little space where we can all chat and yeah, get through this together. If you're interested in watching more videos like this about me, my life, what I do in Portugal, navigating my 20s, trying to be an adult, vlogs, yada yada yada, feel free to subscribe because I am posting weekly now. So much love, and I'll see you in next week's video.